All of these mainstream outlets just do not command our respect. And it makes you think a little differently about the president, who's usually the object of their ire. Even in the administration, we had been told, all the really smart people, all the fancy people who wear jackets and ties and live in the Beltway, they said, look, Trump might be terrible. I'm talking even about right-wingers. They'll say, Trump might be terrible, but at least we have responsible people in the administration. Good, serious, responsible people defending the rule of law, defending our institutions and our norms. People like, Rex Tillerson, former Secretary of State. People like John Kelly, former Chief of Staff. They're the good guys. They're the one defending our norms and our Constitution. Trump is the one destroying it. Except now, in a new book, in a new interview, Nikki Haley is saying that it was actually guys like Tillerson and Kelly who were undermining our norms, undermining our institutions, undermining our Constitution. Nikki Haley writes in her new book, quote, Kelly and Tillerson confided in me that when they resisted the president, they were not being insubordinate. They were trying to save the country. Here's Nikki Haley.
The Secretary of State Tillerson went on to tell you the reason he resisted the president's decisions was because if he didn't, people would die. Do you memorialize that conversation? It definitely happened?
It absolutely happened. And instead of saying that to me, they should have been saying that to the president, not asking me to join them on their sidebar plan. It should have been, go tell the president what your differences are and quit if you don't like what he's doing. But to undermine a president is really a very dangerous thing. And it goes against the Constitution, and it goes against what the American people want. And it was offensive.
That's right. That's absolutely right. And this is where this is where I begin when I'm evaluating something that the president has done. I do not begin from the position that Trump is always right and I love everything he's doing. Whether that's on policy, whether that's on executive action, whether that's on his behavior. That's actually not where I begin. And I do have some policy problems with the president. For instance, I didn't like the First Step Act. I thought that was a mistake. I felt that healthcare could have been handled a little differently. So there are some policy differences. However, where I begin is from a position of assuming the best of the president and maybe the corruption of the mainstream media. Why do I assume that? Because that's exactly the opposite of the script that I'm being told by the mainstream media. And I've just been fooled one too many times. The media have told us that Trump colluded with Russia to overturn the 2016 election, that he should be impeached for his tax problems, that he's a racist and a bigot and a Nazi and a terrible person. And they've been lying the whole time. And so I just approach these questions, not even with treating these guys differently. I won't even say that I begin assuming Trump is really great and the media are really terrible. I just begin with a little skepticism about those claims. And I give a little bit of grace to the president because it's the opposite of what we're getting. And usually that appears to be the right way to go. You can even see this with the ex-Trump administration officials who have done well. The ones who have done well, the ones who have positioned themselves well, are the ones who don't throw him under the bus, like Nikki Haley. Thank you for tuning into the Daily Wire, one of the fastest growing conservative media outlets in the country. If you enjoyed this video, and frankly, even if you didn't, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any of our content.